and sorry for the technological delay. I'm glad to be able to present my internship capstone project to you this morning, and hope that you guys will enjoy it as I did. I spent my internship in the Commonwealth of Dominica, and I'm opening my PowerPoint now so that I can go through it, and I hope that when I turn it on, it doesn't keep you from viewing me. So I have turned it on now. I guess I don't need to go full screen with it, but I will need to just follow the notes on it. So let me just open that up a little more.
Tell them we have it open too.
Great. So I imagine that at this point you can still see me. Oh, it is on the screen.
Yes.
Wow, you guys are great. Fantastic. Okay, thank you. So on the first screen you can see the title of my project is Green Initiatives for Green Jobs in Dominica, or the Commonwealth of Dominica as it is called. The real Nature Island challenge on this island is earning more green and keeping it green. My concentrations are sustainable entrepreneurship and sustainable tourism. So you're going to see elements of both of those concentrations in this presentation. Dominica is often confused with the Dominican Republic, but it is an entirely different place. The Commonwealth of Dominica is pronounced Dominica and not Dominica. It's not the Dominican Republic, so it's Dominica. It's one of the Windward Isles located in the Lesser Antilles. It is south of Guadeloupe. Guadeloupe is to the north and Martinique is to the south. The languages spoken are English predominantly, but you will find some French Creole, a version called Patois. Dominica is the true quintessential volcanic tropical paradise. It's the nature island of the Caribbean. And there you can find the Waitikawuli Trail, which is the longest hiking trail in the Caribbean. You can find the second largest boiling lake in the world, green rainforests, magnificent waterfalls. It's not as developed as the other Caribbean islands, but they make their way in tourism. Lots of rare animals, Cicero parrots, which are only, and frogs, which are endangered, other endemic reptiles, geckos, anoles, insects, amphibians, vascular plants. It is a true paradise of a tropical rainforest island. And it's home to Ross University School of Medicine, which is a medical school. Let's look at the map on the next slide. Dominica is not here in the Dominican Republic. They do not speak Spanish, although there are some Cubans and people from the Dominican Republic on the island. It is located further to the east. You can see it there, Dominica. Next slide. Thank you. There's the flag of Dominica, which represents the provinces, the green stars that you can see there, the Cicero parrot, which is a rare parrot only found in Dominica, and the national colors. Underneath, you'll see a picture of my internship supervisor and myself, along with some cool photos. There's a map of the island. I was living up in the north, in Portsmouth, but my research encompassed most of the entire island. Next slide, thank you. The opportunity for Dominica, because the natural beauty of the island has been preserved and because sustainability and ecotourism are now more frequently associated with travel destinations, and because the island has so much biodiversity, forests, mountains, fresh water, and geothermal activity, the opportunity is there to help create a sustainable island that serves as a model to the world of successful green and blue economies that generate employment for its people. With some creativity, we can turn current problems into opportunities for university student research, social entrepreneurship, poverty reduction, responsible tourism, and renewable energy generation. The survey of the sustainability initiatives was done through a few documents, the Rio 21, which is their Organic Island Initiative and Health Tourism Destination, along with a couple other documents that are important for the island, the Low Carbon Climate Resilience Report, and the Growth and Social Protection Strategy. My research included an island discovery tour where I surveyed the sustainability practices and several interviews with government leaders and community tourism programs. The first interview was done with Bernard Etanoff, the director of the Dominica Water and and Sewerage Company. 97% of the people in Dominica have access to potable water. It would have been at 100%, but due to her Tropical Storm Erica last year, that destroyed some of their pipes and waterways. Clean water sources and treatment are regular in Dominica. They tap way into the national waterways that are at the top of the mountains, which is prohibited for any development in those areas. Around 20% of the island is using hydropower. It has been at 40%. They're moving more toward geothermal, and that's why that decreased. Ships import purchase water here. It's got some of the cleanest water in the world. There's opportunities for student research to work with the water department there with Bernard Etchenoff for anybody that's interested as a water concentration. Their water security is so strong, it is believed that Dominica has 365 rivers, and they have the potential to provide fresh water to several water-scarce nations in the Caribbean. They practice the water energy food nexus, which we all know about. Moving along. Hydropower, you can see some pictures there of the hydropower plants, the water that's channeled, and their balancing tank. There's a sign, the tank is behind the sign. You can go to the next slide. Also, Dominica endeavors to be a showcase for sustainable living, and I spoke with their Minister of Trade, Energy, and Employment, and he had a lot to share in that regard. Trading organic agriculture regionally is their primary objective for now, and that would include different kinds of bananas, ground provisions, which is potatoes and roots and that sort, vegetables, fruit, and so on. Problems that arose in their history, they used to have an agreement with Europe. They had preferential treatment because of the days of slavery. They were given preferential treatment to bring their produce to market, and being a small island, they needed that preferential treatment because they couldn't compete with Latin America and other places that had more hectares of land. But they lost that preferential treatment to some of the bigger groups like Dole and Del Monte and groups like that, and so it really majorly impacted their produce and their trade. So they are still trying to make a go with it. They're diversifying into other products now with coffee. They just built a new plant. They want to export coconut water, coconut oil, bay leaf oil. They've got all kinds of spices and fruit that they could export. One of the greatest demands, they say, is for web-based commodity marketing. Right now, their geothermal energy is up. They have the geothermal energy potential of up to 120 megawatts, and they really only need 10 to 15, so it's the opportunity to export energy to both Martinique and Guadeloupe. They want to reduce the price of electricity to attract more businesses to the island, and so encourage more residents to start businesses on the island. You can see right now it's very expensive, but they need to bring that cost down. Employment generation is at their utmost priority. All of their documents really lead in that direction, even with their climate resilience. There's opportunity for student research as well in energy. Moving along, you can see some evidence of their energy. Kentucky Fried Chicken and Save-A-Lot with solar panels on top, houses, solar for water, and a grid there that generates power for a community of Kalinagos. Next slide. They also use wind power. You'll have to click that a couple times to see the text. Sorry about that. But the wind power is generated at Rosalie Bay Resort, 225 kilowatt wind turbine. It's pretty amazing. You've got to see it. Next slide. Also, there's the geothermal. They've advanced from the exploratory phase that Iceland conducted for them, and they're moving on to the production of geothermal wells. They spent a lot of money, millions of dollars, 100 million. They're going to need another 70 to 80 million to pull it off. It's a difficult task, but that's their goal. Trade, as I said before, was impacted by the banana loss of that preferential treatment. The only image in this slide that is not mine is the one on the banana docks there, because it's a historical image that was sent to me, and I have no idea of the reference and where I would have included it. I can't find it anywhere, but it's a really cool photo. Coffee, you can see there, and the new coffee plantation. Moving on, finding and rewinding yourself, a conversation with the Minister of Tourism and Urban Renewal. He believes tourism is an economic driver for the island, considering the loss of preferential treatment in the agricultural sector. There's a demand for destination marketing. Other needs are awareness, accessibility, and attracting more people to the island. They want to make more people aware of where Dominica is and attract more people there and make it more accessible to people. They impose Nature Island standards for their hotels, and they're trying to get more hotels to comply with that. They want help with training and certification, and they do offer some certifications there. They want to promote their experience tourism, geotourism, ecotourism, community-based tourism, and the like. App development is something that they're very interested in promoting that. Ecotourism means cultural heritage. You can see where they're using ecotourism trips here to inform people of the historical past of Dominica. I'd go into it, but I don't have a lot of time, so we'll move on. Eco-resorts and ecotourism. Some of the famous eco-resorts are Rosalie Bay, Secret Bay, Banana Llama Eco-Resort, Poppy Lodge Wilderness Retreat, Exotica Cottages. I did have conversations with all of them. Rodney's Wellness Retreat. Jungle Bay Resort lost their entire resort in Tropical Storm Erica. It was very devastating, and they had one of the most sustainable islands in the Caribbean. sustainable resorts in the Caribbean, but they're building a new one in another area. The Montague River Resorts, not as accessible, but really cool resort. Pegua Bay, really cool, right on the water. And then, of course, experiences Dominica, jungle trekking, adventure safaris can take you on some ecotourism destinations all around the island. Rosalie Bay, here's some sample images of what it looks like there and some of the things that they provide. They have a garden. There's the owners there, Oscar, Beverly, and they're really big on turtle conservation there for anybody interested in working with turtles. You can move on. Rosalie Bay Resort is a true pioneer in sustainability on the island. You can see several of their awards, the Travel and Leisure Global Vision. They're a National Geographic Lodge, unique lodge of the world. They make some handmade things for the community, from the community. They employ the community. Their furniture is made with local materials and recycled plastics. Beds are covered in sustainably produced cotton. They grow all kinds of things in the garden. It's amazing. It's one of the greenest resorts in the Caribbean, and it includes the spa, fitness center, free Wi-Fi. They have the 225-watt wind turbine, and ecotourism hikes, waterfalls, and so on. Moving on to Secret Bay. I don't have time to show you every resort, but here's another couple pictures from the turtle conservation for anybody interested in that. Moving on to Secret Bay, the next slide. Secret Bay is another resort in the island. They win all the awards, it seems, for eco-luxury resorts. And you can see some of their views right there. Next slide. Secret Bay, they have all kinds of principles and practices, which include responsibility quality, protecting the reefs and surrounding landscapes, water savings, water catchments, material selections, and how they use local woods and materials. Sustainable development is in place. They're LEED certified. They blend everything into the environment, the greenhouse, tropical environment, so on and so forth. Environmental impact assessments are conducted. They have energy efficiency with their light bulbs. Indoor environmental quality is practiced with wash machines, dishwashers. Everything is to environmental eco standards. And they have a very welcoming community. You can see a few more pictures in the next slide. And there I am taking a pretend nap for the photo. Well, you can see the different types of architectural design, squares and circles, and amazing views. Next slide. Sustainable entrepreneurship. Let's get down to the important things of how do we improve the economy over there and at the same time help out the social and environmental sustainability. We have to practice responsible tourism in order to do that. Responsible tourism is going to be sensitive to the culture, it's going to be sensitive to the people, the environment, and how can we create jobs through community-based organizations. Experience economy. How do we create an experience economy that's attractive to people? How can we market that through place branding and destination marketing? That seems to be one of their major needs. Livelihood opportunities are very important for the people there. They need to reduce poverty, and they need to include stakeholders in every detail of their economic drive, including community-based tourism. Value propositions that came up in my conversations and interviews. These are a few: supplying clean water to water-stressed countries in the region, growing, harvesting, and processing and distributing Nature Island coffee, investing in geothermal energy projects, providing hospitality training and certification to fill the roles of new resorts and hotels, exporting unique spices, teas, and pureed tropical fruit, packaging and exporting coconut water, coconut oil, and bay leaf oil, opening up other adventurous and or beautiful areas of the island through ecotourism, geotourism, Nature Island games, and reality TV shows. If you've seen American Tarzan, the whole thing was filmed in Dominica. Celebrating cultural heritage through a Caribbean-style luau, it's an idea I interjected. The Citizenship by Investment Program, destination marketing. Marketing seems to be the biggest need everywhere I went. Web and app development is also something that was mentioned. Technology developments on the island are needed. Sustainable tourism on the eco-resorts. Community-based tourism. Renovations and recovery from Tropical Storm Erica is also another way to generate income. Sustainability retrofits for existing businesses. Experiential learning. Minimize agricultural imports by growing more produce varieties locally. Minimize dairy imports by launching a dairy business on the island. And develop a biodegradable door for fish pots to better enforce their efforts against ghost fishing. Those are some of the value propositions that came up in my conversations. Community-based tourism is one of those areas where it helps local cities, local villages, to be able to participate in tourism, and maybe one time a year they do a really big thing, or they have a very special biodiversity in their area that they can celebrate and encourage tourists to go to. There are a few there listed. I'll show you examples of two or three because there's just not time. We can go to the next slide. This is the Indian River Tours and the Cabritz Resort, which used to be both a French and then later English and French and English stronghold. They had occupation of Dominica for some time. You can move on to the next slide. This is the Organic Farms Tour. You can see how they're using composting there, and they use that to grow such amazing, delicious fruit, tropical fruit there. And also the Creole Cooking and Flower Show, which is a once-a-year event. They grow these flowers, and the whole island comes out to this event to celebrate the beautiful island, beautiful flowers, but also to enjoy some great food. And the whole community benefits because there's roadside cooking and the selling of different things on the road. So it really can benefit the entire community. Next slide. This is the Kalinago area, the last and largest of the Caribbean Indians in the entire world. They're using off-grid energy. They're looking for people to come and study in their area and to help create jobs for their unique people of Kalinagos. They do basket weaving and they do fishing, but they're interested in some other areas and they're open for opportunity and ideas. Experiential learning is something that I wanted to promote on the island. I met with Discover Dominica, and they're very interested in creating experiential learning opportunities for students to come and study in Dominica. Study abroad, experiential learning at Discover Dominica, internship opportunities with living laboratories, multiple sustainability initiatives that any student can partner with, all in one place. It's amazing. And then Clemson University has the Arc Ball Tropical Research and Education Center that's open to students from any university to come and stay and study. You can move on to some photos there. This is the Arc Ball Tropical Research and Education Center. I would love to take a team of students and professors there to do some sustainability study on the island and see what we can do to make a difference not only in Dominica, but use it as a model for the world. You can move on. Adventure tourism. These are just a few slides that I threw to kind of highlight some of the fun things that I was able to experience on the island. Dominica offers so much for anybody interested in really exploring the outdoors. That's really what it's all about. We can move on to the next photos. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed my time in Dominica. I really feel it is one of the great places in the world to study sustainability initiatives and practices and programs, and a great place to create new ones because it is still an underdeveloped island. It is the nature island of the Caribbean. I encourage anybody to come out. Any questions?
Y'all having questions? I'll type them into it.
We don't have time for questions, Gary. Sorry.
Sorry.